I ended firing my training because it's like you don't know enough things to train me. We need to understand how much your body can consume the oxygen. For that, we use particularly this. This is a mask you put here. All of this is going to help you to understand how you can perform more, how you can, what are the steps that you should do next to perform more. In the beginning was really interesting. I was running like crazy with I mean, they were walking,
Yeah.
and I was in my maximum pace.
You're in your maximum.
I was like in my maximum pace. They were talking to each other like, what this guy is doing in flip flop.
What inspired you to get into performance?
I would say what inspired me is an ending curiosity. Since I was a kid, I was a bit curious about how to be an athlete and how to perform and how to perform, how I can perform better. So I started reading a lot of things. I started reading how the body functions, how the physiology function, the nutrition and everything. When I was 13, maybe 14, I was already studying and thinking that I understand something about the body. And in that moment, I was riding the bike. I was competing by bike, and I ended firing my training because it's like you don't know enough things to train me. And then when I was 16 or 17, of course I continued reading and so on, and with a fight with my trainer in this situation, I was already playing volleyball, indoor volleyball. With a fight with this person saying like, and because I explained how we should play and so on. So I guess it since I have memory, I was always in sport and I was always thinking how to improve. Of course, in young age, I was thinking that I knew a lot and so on. It's called effect Dunning-Kruger. I would say when you start knowing something and you definitely think that you know a lot, and then you really start understanding, and then you realize how asshole, how idiot you can be because of thinking that you know a lot of things. This curiosity brought me to read a lot, to travel a lot, and I think that many of the sports has a cultural connection, and in many sports, this cultural connection has a original or a tribe connection. For example, you can see here the running, the Kenyan marathoners mostly come from the Kalenjin tribe. They are not Luya like or Luyo that normally they're bigger than the weight is 60 and they are thin and they have the specific runner body. And then you can think or you can have this idea and also extrapolate it with some other tribes, for example, or some other original communities in different countries. For example, if you go to trail running, the Tarahumara, it's a tribe from the north of Mexico, and they are also they're really good in running in the mountains, and they are really famous to win every race around that area. You can go to Maoris and the New Zealand rugby. You can go to Fiji rugby. You can go to Jamaican sprinter. And so, if you see, there are always a community or a culture or a country or a tribe related with sport performance, and somehow all my life that was behind sport and how can I perform better ended in reading a lot of books, a lot of things, and there is a okay, then this is going to be some. I decided that this is going to be my life, not just my work. Also to understand more how culture form the athletes.
The athletes, yeah. And sports performance is a word that sometimes is not well understood or explained. We think of performance of uh, 1, 2, 3 position performance, but there's a whole different performance. If you can help differentiate what really sports performance is, minus, okay, this is translating to 1, 2, 3, but there's different things that we need to do to venture and to understand deeply what sports performance is. Yeah.
So, I mean, you use the word performance, you use the word sport, you refer to 1, 2, 3 as a winning competition. So if we can say what is performance, we can say, okay, performance is just a way of measuring a certain type of way of doing the work, or how to be more efficient, or how to be more how to do it in a better way, to put it somehow. But also you mentioned sport. So before I enter in that sphere, if you think the performance through winning, we need to also return a bit more into when this is the sports as we understand the sport right now. It was kind of rule, or the putting in the order that we think in a sport right now. In that situation, we have to think the sports related with the records. I mean, to record the records, how to jump high, how to jump longer, run faster, and so on. In that situation, the records come from in the history. We start having records in the 1886 or 96. I don't remember correctly. 1896. That's the kind of the year, and around, if you see around that years of the when the humanity start putting all the records of jumping, running faster, and so on. We also have the sports, most of the sports that we know now, or the classical sports like football, like rugby, like tennis, like volleyball, like basketball, and so on. They were also ruled around the 1900, right? I mean that date. So in that situation, what I try to explain is there is no way of extrapolate or separate the sports that we know now, or how we think sports now, with how we think with the records. Yeah. Right? So in that situation, performs, when we talk about perform, is directly related with winning, with sprinting, with how to sprint, how to run fast, how to jump higher, how to jump longer, and so on. How to be more efficient to win certain prize. But in that situation, that's, I would say, that's one part of the history, or that's just one part of the how to see the performance, or how to see. I would say that's what I like about measure how to perform better and so on in the sports that we know today. But also historically, sports was more related before all the rule, before all the sports were rule. It was completely related with games. It was and the games were completely related with rituals. So if you go to community, if you go to tribes and so on, you will see that most of the you can have games, you can have rituals, most of the times these type of games are played or are done in a certain moment of the year or in a certain because of the season, to celebrate some season, or because of the passage of the childhood to adulthood. Yeah. And in that situation, I don't know, for example, the other day I was talking with a Maasai about the Maasai game. They have and the games are, it's about throwing the lance, throwing the spear to a certain spot, right? To be precise into a certain sport, in a certain sport, throwing the spear to jump higher. And of course, they also play football. By now, everybody play football, right?
Yes.
But in that organization, in that community, the game, what they are celebrating probably is being more related with having more opportunities into with the opposite gender, or to that tend to more to having family, also survive the survival of the community in itself. And for example, I'm going to give you another example. In Argentina, we also have tribes, community, Aboriginal community, and we have 58, but way smaller. And one of the original communities, they play a really similar game. It's called Palin in the Mapuche area in the south of Argentina, and it's really like grass hockey, like. But when they play against another town, they not every time, but in most cases, when there is a celebration, when there is a ritual, the game ends when the local lose or when the match is completely even, right? Just to have a better connection with the community of the other town. I mean, between the same tribe, between Mapuches, but the community of the same of another tribe. So if you see in that situation, I mean, your question is about sport performance and winning in the sports of today, but if you see, there is a lot of way to see the performance, because the performance for maybe the Maasai come from, or for some tribes from here, what I understand, come from having more opportunities in the opposite gender and having more opportunities or celebrating more the certain season. The performance in the Mapuche tribe from Argentina, it's more to connection with other type of, or with other town, with they also have the between Mapuches. And for Sebastián Saue, as an athlete, the best woman, the best human on earth right now for marathon, is running below 2. It was running below 2 hours, the marathon distance. So I guess talking about performance, we can have many ways of seeing the performance because of how the sport is ruled, and because what we are pursuing of the sport, we have quite small way of seeing in it. Is just how to be more efficient in a certain or more precise in a certain areas of the games, while actually the game can be, or the perform can be just to have fun in the in the sport. Of course, I guess I went more into the historical the debate and so on that I also enjoy, but I guess here we are here because more into the physiology and how to be more precise in the physiology. Yeah. But I want to say that this is just a really narrow way of seeing, of thinking of the sports, why the sport should be completely vast and completely, way.
Yeah, and I like that you brought that up because that gives us the background or makes us even think and delve much deeper onto how broad performance is. I've never thought of it as from the cultural perspective and how communities what do they do and why do they do this, and is it for interconnection, is it for crossing from age group to age group, is it for marriage, is it to look for a wife? Is it just for fun and bring camaraderie within communities, and all that? Having that understanding of that history indeed builds up into now the physiology in a huge way, because now you can understand. Oh, this is a basketball athlete. Um, this basketball athlete is from Western Kenya, or specific. Now, if you're bringing the physiology within a team, basketball team, there's like, I speak of basketball because that's what I played. There's 12 players. Those 12 players, there are maybe 4 big men or 4 forwards or centers. Each are from different tribe. Now, when a sports performance coach like you, instructor, comes to deal with this player, understanding their background helps you even further, because from what you've explained, it helps me understand that if I'm having 4 big men, one is a Kalenjin, one is a Masai, the other one is maybe a Luo. They all have different body context, and they all have different cultural, physiological upbringing that's going to directly impact on how to make them ready in terms of how they perform, on their efficiencies and effectiveness on their roles as a center in a basketball game.
But in that situation, one enter into, okay, this is a team and a team playing basketball, and what I'm part of your team in that situation. I'm part of your team. So what we are thinking is, okay, we're going to compete in this situation, and the success in us as a team is to maybe win certain trophy or win certain league or whatever, right? But in that situation, it's completely related, okay, with this success for the team, or with this success for exactly this group of people. What a coach can should have the difficult situation of understanding every culture individually. If there is a person doing in Ramadan, for example, in that team, how can that person take it and also continue thinking in the success of the team, even though this person is, for example, between certain hours not drinking or not eating, while the other part of the team can, right? So I will say the difficult part of coaching, or I'm going to say it again, rephrase it, the artistic part of coaching, or the how I see the coaching, is exactly understanding the other person, not just a machine, as a, okay, this is what science is saying about performance, and because you are an athlete and you are going to, I want you to perform winning this and this and this, you are going to do exactly this and this and this, and at the end, specifically less, I will say, the situational sport, the sports that you do in teams. For example, you mentioned basketball. The situational sport is exactly in trying to grab and trying to catch, not to grab, trying to catch every part of each person, how the culture is completely involved into the team. And so that's the difficult part of the beautiful part, the difficult part and the beautiful part as well, right? Yeah. the rest of the things, of the rest of understanding of the physiology of the body, of the nutrition, or the training itself, somehow it's an algorithm, a nature algorithm, right? So one can easily understand that to make you improve is doing a small stress into your body, creating a small stress every time to time, just drop the stress so you can rest, and then you're going to adapt to that stress, and that's how you're going to improve. If you think in that, it's somehow it's an algorithm. It's a easy to do without a human behind. Understanding the other person, as a culture, as a wishes, as a understanding what's success for you in the sports, understanding for how long do you want to be in the sport, understanding how is your family, understanding who, if you are eating alone or somebody is cooking for you and you're eating with somebody, understanding all of that part, I will say that's the art of the coaching, and that's something that nothing is going to replace that, right? It's not replaceable.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel coaches are good, or good coaches. Let me not just say coaches. Good coaches can be really good human resource managers because they get to understand the details to the core.
Yeah.
To build performance, as you have explained, and you know, as you said earlier, you took time, you delved into wanting to understand this. You have two masters, one degree. Maybe if you can tell us briefly about them.
About the master, about the, I mean, I started with nutrition because of I situational, because it was in my city, and something that I wanted to do was not possible, which was physiotherapy. And then I completely start thinking about nutrition and how nutrition it's completely involved in the performance. And then I start pursuing a bit my wishes, my professional wishes, or what I thought it was my professional wishes in that moment. And I realized that for that I needed to continue studying. So I just continue studying, trying to get more and more and more into the physiology into the understanding of the body. But as always, sometimes the life put you in certain places, or put you in some situation that somehow, at least for me, brings me another curiosity, which was more into the anthropological, or more into the cultural related with sports. So at the end, yeah, I'm happy to that my daily base is understanding more the body, and lucky enough or privileged enough to look for ways of continue traveling and learning from other cultures. Right now we are in Kenya, for example, which for me it's a dream in itself, understanding how how all of this function. About the master, I normally diminish the things, because somehow it's just put your pom pom, you put your ass in a chair and study, right? So normally our way of teaching and learning are bulimic. It's because we read, think that we are learning, we read, and then we just spell it in we vomit in a paper or in the face of the other person, all the knowledge that we actually think that we have, and that's how you pass. But I guess learning is way more beyond that, right? It's completely more complex and completely for really understanding. I guess you need to have all the dots in your mind how everything or how you think the things function, but at the same time you have to have all the dots
Connected.
connected,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Connected and moving
And
and,
moving.
and flowing.
Yeah.
How everything it's moving.
And realizing that sometimes the connection is not seamless.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Yeah,
just all over the place.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes the connection in a person itself is completely in another way that you have it. Right? So, for example, I was growing in Argentina, then I was traveling, then I had a master in Spain, then I continued traveling. I was living in Berlin, and then now I'm in Kenya. And so, of course, I mean, what I understand it's maybe it's logic for me, or my thoughts are from here to here. Maybe for you is to here, and for a person in Europe is it's another way. So, and in that situation, I would say one needs to be a bit curious and humble to think, yeah, okay, this is not my culture. They were not teach as I was taught. Then let's ask or let's try to understand how the other person function.
Yeah. And you've been, as you said, blessed to move through all these countries: Spain, Berlin, now Kenya. What's worked with many athletes across these countries, being an athlete yourself. What's exciting to you about working with African and Kenyan athletes, and what do you see that makes them stand out of all these other people that you've worked with?
And do you mean other sports or the athletes?
Just across all sports.
Yeah. In this situation, I would like to make an acceleration. I'm from Argentina. I have been working in South America, Argentina, Uruguay. So I can talk when I say South America. I'm talking in my experience in these positions, in these places, in Europe, in Spain, and in Germany. So I would say my understanding of Europe is just these two countries, and in Africa I have been here just in Kenya. So I guess my understanding of is just really it's not completely vast. It's just mostly these countries. And second, it's not an easy question because I thinking what inspired me or what I like about all of these places is every place has different situation or different possibilities and different problems. It's not the same problem of Argentina, it's not the same problem of Kenya or South America and Africa. It's not the same problem of Europe or Spain and Germany. And in that situation, what I like the most is there is no way of getting bored because it's always something new. Yeah. It's always resolving things. It's always and also is understanding the problems of the other, right? So just to put an example, Argentina has a lot of cyclic or mostly economical problems. I mean, most of our life as in independent country, we had a lot of economical problems. Our way of dealing with that economical problem is being more creative, right? So we are a bit lame, a bit we don't like to work too much. We don't like to work too much, and for that we have a lot of economical problems, so we become more creative, and from that creativity comes Maradona and Messi. You see, I mean, the way of going to football, the way of Argentina and also Brazil play football is a way of creativity, right? It's to see which one is the best
dribbler.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about generalizing, right? Is not creating a system and being completely strong, like and running fast, like maybe European. We can think that they have other problems. I guess the whole world has problems or problems to resolve. And so yeah, I guess every part of the world has different problems or similar problems. For example, I will say here in Kenya and in Argentina, we have similar economical problems. We deal with more creativity, and my way of saying, I guess I mean, here in Kenya, the people deal with that being more stronger and with more power of the body. So training even harder, or training even more, and yeah. So
And that helps them perform as they perform. Exactly. Yeah, you've been to E10. How was it for you experiencing how one of the best runners on all these come from, the source of where the best runners come from?
it was a beautiful experience with a lot of learnings. Specifically because when I was in E10, I was for a few months in Argentina, then I was living for a few months in Germany, and then I moved a few months also to E10. And it was a lot of learning on how to be mostly disciplined and how to have some faith in the path, in the process. I guess that's something we say sacarnos el sombrero, when you say like, okay, that's chapeau, you are really completely very good doing that. But of course, I mean, my education was mostly in the global north. So I was doing a research about how is the body composition how is the anthropometry, not just the body composition of the runners, and how is the nutrition of the runners. So I came with thousands of sheet of paper completely printed, like, okay, this is going to be my questions, and these are going to be my questions. I'm going to get an office, I'm going to be there, da, da, da. And then suddenly I realized the questions were completely absurd for most of the people, because it's for most of the runners, because I did the question being uh, in a university in Spain or being in Berlin directly. It's like, no, this is not how the things function here. So it was in the beginning was really interesting. I was running like crazy with I mean, they were walking,
Yeah.
and I was in my maximum pace.
You're in your maximum.
I was like in my maximum pace. They were talking each other like, what this guy is doing in flip flop. More than the experience and the learning, just to share the passion and the moment of running and so on, it was a lot of learning of, yeah, this is bullshit. This is not how the things function here. If I will do the research right now, I will be completely different and completely maybe sitting more into the with every athlete, and really asking questions that the athletes really want to give me, and not completely from the outside and thinking you have to answer me this question, and yeah, I mean, the question itself was like completely off. But then it was a beautiful learning. Yeah.
Many athletes and coaches, hear terms like, the VO2 max, lactate thresholds, physiological testing, Can you break down these concepts down and explain why they matter?
Yeah. Okay, I will start with the VO2. So we need energy. The energy is done in part of the cell. It's called mitochondria. The mitochondria is so the mitochondria is really, really, really completely tiny. The mitochondria is inside the cell. The group of cell create the different fibers. Different fibers create a muscle. Different muscle create the system that, for example, when you run, you need to use, right? So somehow with the VO2, we are testing, we are measuring, not testing, we are measuring exactly how all this system works, from the muscle to the mitochondria, so from the whole system to the mitochondria, how all that function in your body. In that situation, of course, the oxygen in this type of sport is really important. And the cyclic sports, when I say cyclic sport, is the endurance sport, running, marathon, running long distance, cycling, triathlon, swimming. Mostly when you have a long time doing exactly the same cyclic movement, right? So for that, since you are in a long time doing exactly the same, your body start consuming different part of fuel, right? So in the beginning, when it's a really easy pace, let's say for example, a walking pace, your body consumes more of the fuel using fat, oxidating fat. Then your body is going to, when the pace becomes a bit more difficult, your body start consuming more carbohydrates, and then there is also the phosphocreatine, but we're not entering the so deep. But in case, for example, one jump, one sprint, one short sprint. So in a marathon, you are not sprinting. In a marathon, you are in a pace that your body can run, right? So in the best pace, your body can run, and for that, we need to understand how much your body can consume the oxygen. For that, we use particularly this. This is a mask. You put it here. Okay. Of course, is connected with the computer. This is measuring how much oxygen you are taking every time you breathe. You breathe in, and how much CO2 is in every time you put your breath out. Okay. Understanding all of this somehow gives you, okay, these are your threshold until this speed you can run without hitting the wall. Okay, so this is your zones. That's why this is a measuring of the zones that it's really important in the cyclic sport, in the endurance sport. These are your zones, these are your thresholds. Don't go over this threshold, because probably you're going to, after a couple of minutes, you're going to be out. That's what we can do measuring the VO2. And then lactate. With the lactate, what we do, well, I was mentioning the second part of the intensity of the sport. Mostly we can always use more. We are always going to use more carbohydrates. A soft product of the carbohydrates is exactly the lactate. So what we do with this other tool is, first of all, we have to pinch the finger with this. We pinch the finger or the ear, so that we take the blood. We put the blood in a strip, and that strip is going to tell us how much lactate you have in the blood. With that, somehow we can create as well, okay, this is the moment that you can continue running without hitting the wall. If you go over this speed, you are going to hit the wall in certain minutes and so on. So we can understand somehow how your body not just use the oxygen, also how your body is using your carbohydrate, more than the carbohydrate, how much your body can run using different type of fuels, right? Everything related with the heart rate. With this, we measure the heart rate. So we put it here. We measure the heart rate, and I will say the heart rate is kind of easy to connect and to solve to cross all the information between these things and the heart rate. Knowing the heart rate, also one can go run everywhere without needing to test every time, because the heart rate is telling you in a cheap way or in an easy way in which zone are you running. What we also do in the clinic, by the way, I have to say thank you for performance clinic, performance medicine clinic, which is because they were Altaf, the owner of the clinic. He was from the beginning completely open to have me and to do all my my experience there. So really thankful to him and for the clinic. What we also do in the clinic is an anthropometry. Anthropometry is the different type of the body. Most of the people understand anthropometry directly with body composition, but anthropometry is way more deep than that. Body composition is just one part of the anthropometry, while anthropometry we can think also in biomechanical things, right? So, for example, how high should be the saddle of your of your bike, right? And so for that, it's a measurement to the inner part of the leg, and then we make a calculation, and so we can exactly put the right height of the saddle, how to sit to then the biomechanic, specifically in cycling, you can think, okay, this is more comfortable for you, this is more efficient for you in terms of energy, or you can hold this position to be more aerodynamic, right? But all of that, somehow there's also some anthropometrical measurements of how you can be more comfortable, how you can be more efficient, how you can be more aerodynamic, and that's not body composition. So yeah, I mean, I guess I explained part of the things that I'm doing in the clinic. I hope that was clear.
Yeah,
so I mean, to resume, is how your body consumes the oxygen. Through the oxygen, we can also understand how your body is reacting to different intensities of the sport. To check how your body react as an outcome of that, we can take the lactate, and for the all related with the heart rate, and yeah, the anthropometry is it's how you can seeing your body and measuring your body, how can be more efficient in X, Y, or Z action or work.
Okay. So what's the importance of all this to an athlete? What does all that information and data improve the efficiency and effectiveness of an athlete? Why should an athlete do all this?
In this situation, I like to think that all of this is a guidance of what you should do next, right? I'm saying this because I guess more into the global north and into the global south, but more into the global north, they are completely obsessed with the numbers of all of this, and also the numbers of the steps you do every day, of how is your sleeping, how the liters of water you take, and so on. And I don't like to see the number directly as a goal. When the number is directly the goal, then you are out of track. All of this is going to help you to understand how you can perform more, how you can, what are the steps that you should do next to perform more, and also in terms of anthropometry, and in terms of teams, how your type of body can perform more in the team, or how with your specific body is going to be better for the team. So for example, taking measurements of the body and knowing how much kilograms you have of fat, of muscles and bones and so on, we can think, okay, maybe it's better for your position to play as in the defense of the team instead of in the middle part of the field, or go to the front. Also, we can do a certain it's not talent recruitment, because talent it's so vague the word, but it's like, yeah, okay, we can take all these measurements to teenagers and think, okay, this person is going to grow more in terms of anthropometry, is going to grow more than, and this person is not going to be too big, right? So in that situation, if you want to have a specificity in the sport of a certain teenager, to start the specificity in the sport around 13, 14, 15 years, depending on the sport as well. With anthropometry, we can say, yeah, okay, this person is going to grow a lot, so don't leave him or her in the middle of the court. Maybe put it in the front, or just to give an example, right? Or maybe put it in basketball, or maybe put it in volleyball, or maybe do something else. So understanding the physiology also give us a step how you can improve, how you can perform, which could be your next steps, and also how person in the beginning of the sports athlete's life can be more success in terms of sports nowadays, of perform more into one position or into another sport.
Yeah, gotcha. What are some of the biggest opportunities that you see in regards to high performance sports ecosystems in Kenya?
What's the
biggest opportunities you see that are coming up in regards to sports performance in Kenya?
I don't. I guess I'm not qualified enough to respond exactly what's about, because I'm still a foreigner into this, right? So to answer that, I would say one needs to understand completely, or really, how I think one needs to understand completely how is the culture of every sport. Every sport has different cultures, right? It's not the same swimming than basketball, than volleyball, than rugby or football. So every sport has different cultures. The culture in itself it's a Kenya in general, I guess it's also a lot of a mixture of all the different communities that you have inside the country as well. So it's really difficult to answer that question, or to feel qualified to answer that question, because to answer that will say that I can understand all the culture and all the sport history that you have been through, and all the problems and all the pros and cons that you had and you have actually, And I guess I don't I like the challenge. I would like to learn it. I would like to learn it, and I guess I'm here for that. But to directly say, okay, this is the way. It's a bit it's a bit tough. I'm not qualified for that, I would say.
But what you're getting out of this is that to build a high performance sports ecosystem, you have to understand the cultures, you have to understand the sport itself, then it narrows down towards building that up, right? Yeah, so that's one thing that I really like our viewers to get clearly, so that whoever is interested to develop that arm of sports then has that background understanding of, oh, okay, um, I need to delve into the history, I need to delve into the different sport itself that I'm working in or I'm building. Then I need to delve further deeper into cultures because I realized that, oh, um, runners are from Rift Valley area. Most soccer players are from Western Kenya, most of them, and Eastern. Rugby players, most of them are also from Western Kenya. You know, that is, yeah, yeah, which is coming back to, you know, the physiology, to the cultures, to the activities they do as communities. You look at basketball mixture, but mostly again Western Kenya. I, maybe I feel it's exposure, but I feel the Maasai can be really good basketballers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the high jump and good volleyballers as well, because of what they culturally do that affects how they would perform in a sport. We see the South Sudanese, you know, they have the cultural dance that they do. Pogo jumps. They literally do pogo jumps, but it's they're dancing.
And it's a typical exercise in the gym to improve
The flight,
the jump
the jump.
to jump higher. Yeah, of course.
And they do it.
Yeah. For them it's natural. For them it's like
It's natural.
it's not just natural. It's what we were talking in the beginning, right? Is the way of maybe relating to be married and so on. So for them it's completely deeper than I just want to high jump and attack and hit the ball. For them it's also okay with this. Maybe I have more opportunity with the opposite gender. It's not just okay, I'm going to hit strong.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess returning to your question, if you want, in Argentina we say to play or to bet for something, for an answer. Really, come on, give me an answer. No. I guess if I will bet or for play for an answer, I will say to create a system, and somehow that system needs to be to create a system of how to move through from beginning of the life of an athlete to the adult life of an athlete, or to also to retirement. In this situation, I really like what the Canadian Olympic Committee did, which was explain exactly how to, from the teenagerhood to until also the retirement, how to continue after the retirement, because everybody think in an athlete like okay, until the person is retired of the sport, but after that you have half of the life maybe, right? So half of the life is still that you need to pay the rent, you need to eat, and you need to provide. So in terms of that, I will say the best approach, or in my understanding, will be creating a system that the system somehow show, okay, volleyball, how we're going to do it in volleyball, how we're going to do it in basketball, how we're going to do it in football, how we're going to do it in running or in sprinting or in the During the teenagers, okay, this measurement is exactly what we are going to take. This measurement, this measurement, this measurement. For football, of course, there are going to be completely another one, and in every sport should has the particularly measurements of what's more important. This is really important for, the oxygen intake is really important for a marathoner, but for a volleyballer, probably it's not really helpful. Yeah. For a volleyballer or for a basketballer, the more important thing could be the it's called weight power ratio, which is how is your weight and how much power you can put in the floor with your weight, right? Mm-hmm. So depending on the sport, you have to create different systems. The system needs to explain somehow the performance of the sport and create the whole life of the athletes from the beginning until the end. That I would say that would be my approach in how this should function, how I wish to function.
Yeah, which makes sense 100%, and it covers the entire spectrum of an athlete's life, from start all the way to retirement. On to the quick fire segment. One performance.
I'm not good in this.
Quick fire.
As you can see, I talk a lot and I like to explain every context a lot. So
yeah, let's see how you do. How quick you shoot it. Yeah. One performance metric every athlete should know about themselves.
You see, you start. One. No, I cannot mention one because that's depend of the sport. What I just explained. I mean, the oxygen intake could be really important for a marathoner. The lactate could be very important for a 400 meters, but none of them are really important for a basketball or a volleyball player. So if I will bet for one, oxygen intake for endurance or cyclic sport. What I just explained about weight power ratio, how much power your body per kilogram of your body you can give. That's the most important for the situational sports, the sports with balls.
Yeah,
with a ball.
Yeah, the ones with balls. Weight power ratio.
Yeah, exactly. Weight power ratio.
There you go. That's handball, that's basketball, that's volleyball, that's...
that's it's not a physiological in this situation, but related with the body measurements. But then if you miss the shot, you miss the shot, right?
Miss the shot, yeah.
Then if you miss the shot, you miss the shot. If you're not good with the hands or with the ball in your legs, then it's... But in terms of body, VO2 and weight power ratio.
Gotcha. If you could instantly change one thing in sports, what will it be?
That's a very difficult one. First of all, this way of thinking that no pain, no gain. I will say that hurts a lot of not just the way the sport should be taken, also make a lot of damage in terms of injuries and so on. I'm completely more into the opposite side, which is you should be training the minimum dose that your body should be able to take. So in terms of completely marketing, I would say no pain, no gain should be completely the thing. In terms of sports in general, to return to just do a sport for community, because to enjoy, to have joy, to have fun, to be in related with my community and so on, unless in terms of just efficiency, right? It's
Talent or discipline, which matters more over the long term?
Discipline. Discipline. Talent somehow is just talent. It's the capacity of doing something efficient and repeat the work efficiently, right? So in that situation, being disciplined is a talent in itself. So wake up every day and go for a run like the Kalenjin does is a talent in itself. They're really talented in just like, okay, I'm going, wake up and go for a run and that's it. And also in terms of technique of willingness, which is similar question. Yeah, I mean, give me willingness and then one can teach the technique or giving the discipline of training every day, and then the technique and the talent is going to be there. Yeah. Sooner or later it's going to be there.
All right, as we wrap it up, we like wrapping it up with, some questions from our viewers and subscribers.
Okay.
So someone asked this.
Shoot.
I'm not a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Can sports performance principle help ordinary people, like people who are not actively in sports, improve their health and daily lives?
100% in everything. In everything, and not just because the body needs movement, and not just because of the discipline, and not just because of everything kind of related with the good marketing of the sports, which is not what we usually see in the TV, right? What we see in the TV is people completely dedicated to that as a work and training 4, 8, I don't know, depending of the sport as well, but training and putting the body completely into that sport because it's a way of living. That is not the healthy part of sport, right? That's not. But a sport as a sport, yeah, it gives discipline, gives a body that can express and do a lot of things, and I guess that is what we should do. We should be hitting what that should be our goal. In terms of science, in general, because you mentioned sports science. In terms of science at the end is just a method. It's a method of controlling certain variables through a system and with observation and with experiment, we can try to understand what's happening. And I will say that it can be applied in everything just to improve and how to improve something in life. That's easy to have. I don't like the sports science thinking like, okay, everything is about this or about technology, because then is when the lack of budget, of the lack of economical situation, right? A problem with to buying all these artifacts. That brings the problem. But the problem is to a normal person that maybe they don't have a normal, they don't have a usual way of measuring everything and so on, but easily can apply sport science, sport for joy and so on, and science for how to improve what you're doing, from nutrition to sleep, hygiene, and so on, and not necessary to measure everything. Not necessary to have the tools of measure everything. That's not directly sports science. It's related, but not. It's not just that.
All right. On to the last question. The second question from our viewer is: if a young athlete dreams of competing internationally, what habits should they start building today?
Nutrition and sleep. Nutrition and sleep. Nutrition and sleep I mean, with the training, you make the stress of the body. With the nutrition, you can also provoke the stress of the body and then see how your body react or adapt to that. But knowing and understanding the nutrition and knowing and understanding how to sleep and how to rest more or best, then definitely it's going to give the most of the career of every athlete, because the training is just 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of the day, but then you have another 20, and then your trainer is not with you when you are watching the phone instead of going to sleep, or your nutritionist is not next to you when you are eating. So if you don't learn from the beginning how to have good sleeping patterns, a good resting pattern, and good nutrition habits, then it's the most important. Yeah. Because the rest, for sure, you're going to have a trainer, you're going to have an outcome person with an authority telling you you have to run, you have to kick, you have to throw, and so on. But that's just the minimum part of the day. The rest of the day, you are alone.
Hernandez, we'd like to thank you so much
Thanks to you
for being with us today.
Thank for you to having me and to take my words in consideration. That's all.
Yeah, we appreciate all you do and what you research you're delving into, and the impact that you're having towards the greater development of sports, not just within the countries you've been, but the ripple effects it causes across the globe, as general and fair play. And I like how you push it on the aspect of what sports is really for: building communities, having fun, building engagements, good relationals amongst communities and all this, and taking us away from the commercial side of it.
For what we see in the television.
Yeah, which is important. We are wishing you all the best here at Wima Sports, and looking forward to more great engagements together.
Thanks to you for you and for your team to having me, and more than happy to be here, and more than happy. As you can see, I'm really passionate about this, and I'm really passionate about everything related with sport. And my life is exactly understanding the sports and the physiology and so on, and that's why I'm if I can do a bit of marketing, if you let me do a bit of marketing, it's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm developing a software with tools of how to understand the sports science without needing a lot of budget, without needing a lot of sports science in terms of performance and what we see in the television. To have so it's not necessary to have a lot of budget, and the mostly the global south where we are and where I come from can take from that and can help their athletes, and also can work in a different economical situation, which is not just paying directly for software, for tools, and for science and so on. Also more into circular economical approach of okay, these are the athletes, these are the trainers, these are the sponsor, and so and that's Asciende. That's exactly what I'm doing since in my room with the computer, trying to build something really important to help specifically athletes and trainers from the global south.
Yeah, we're looking forward and excited about that. We can't wait to use that software. Test it
with the athletes here. I honestly, I'm working 12 hours to launch it, but yeah, I mean, I'm also learning through that. It's not this is my world. It's
Yeah.
not the computer my world. So, yeah,
All
pole
right.
pole.
Pole, bila pressure, without no pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We are looking forward to that. Thank you so much. Viewers, until next time, it's your host signing out, Jermaine. Salute.